What else TV? It's your boy Stitch 'em Up, my co-host.
What it Dooski? It's your boy DJ Moolah controlling the sound waves.
Moolah, what's going down, my guy?
Man, it's so nice out today, man. I went to the zoo.
You went to the zoo?
Yeah,
Brought the babies out to the zoo?
Man, I was over there higher than a giraffe's ass.
Higher than a giraffe's ass.
Yeah,
hey,
man, we out here.
Hey, shouts out to my dog Jack Hanna down there in the Columbus Zoo. Shouts out to everybody.
Yeah,
in Columbus.
Jack was down there handing out fruit snacks.
That's a motherfucking fact. Hey yo, Moolah, we got special guests, real special guests in the motherfucking building today, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, bro, we about to break boundaries with this one. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody get your pen and pads together. Everybody pay close attention to this information that's about to get dropped. We got two strong, powerful people in the building tonight. We got my man Nobel from Family Wealth. And we got Derwin Tillman from Tillman Home Buyers. I want y'all to welcome them to the What Else platform. And this is pertinent information that we about to give to y'all. We're giving it to y'all for the free. You ain't got to pay for no seminar to go get this information. You ain't got to go to college to get this information. This information coming to you. But you got to subscribe, though. Yeah, I'm just saying, man, if you appreciate this video that you're about to receive, just hit the like, subscribe, comment, you know what I mean? Anything that we miss, anything else that you want us to touch on, you can comment. So we're going to get this started. We got my man Noble in the building, Derwin Tillman. And we want to know, what is it that you guys specialize in?
Yeah. So, man, I'll go. We do real estate. You know what I mean? Various facets of real estate. Whether
Shouts out to that.
You know, buying houses, of course, flipping houses where you buy them, you improve them. Mm-hmm. You then resell them. We love the wholesale technique. Together, we do wholesale. Wholesale is just a method where we, the owner agrees to sell us the house for $50,000. In 30 days, we're gonna come up with the $50,000, and basically we make a phone call somebody else, and they be like, "Oh no, we got you. We know this is really worth $65 at this particular condition," and then we make a second contract with our assignment fee for the $15,000, and then we marry them two together, let them go to the title company. And these days, man, the buyer just wire the money in. The lady gets her 50. He go pick up the check, and we break bread. So we're selling our contract. And so we do various methods of real
So hold
estate.
on a minute. Let me get this straight. So you saying that you doing all of this buying and selling with real estate. He's buying and selling real estate, y'all. And you said that it's only paperwork. So it didn't cost you no money down to get into this?
That's a good catch, right? So exactly. The only money out your pocket is what you can afford to pay. So I'm gonna give you this deal. The first deal I ever did in wholesale was in 2019.
Okay.
Right? April of 2019, I had on my vision board, I just want to make $5,000. That's all I want to make. I want to see if this shit is real.
Right.
I hear about it. I watch YouTube about it, but I want to see if it's real.
Right.
So when March came, I started sending this lady a letter. I sent her 2 letters. Right. I went to the post office, got the big envelope that made it look like it's a FedEx envelope because people open those. If I mail you a piece of mail in a regular envelope, you may think about it.
That's free game.
If I mail you something like in a FedEx envelope, you're
That's
going to
free
open
game.
it up.
Right.
Right. So
That's free game.
that's a good thing. So I mailed her these 2 letters, and I mailed 2 postcards. This don't even cost me $10.
Okay.
And then the letter says, "Hey, I would love to buy your property, 123 Main Street. Please give me a call. I can buy cash. Please call me." She called me, and her name was Teresa. I never forget. You'll never forget your first deal.
Shouts out to Miss Teresa,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? So she called me. And I speak to Noble, and this is Teresa. I said, "Hey, Teresa, you the one that got the house on such and such street?" She started laughing. I said, "Please forgive me for just bothering you. I know you tired of me, but I really want that house." She said, "Yeah, I want to sell it." Because I know why. She calling me because she want to sell it.
Right.
What else
That's
she
a
calling me
fact.
for?
That's a
So
fact.
she started laughing, and she said, "Yeah, I want to sell it." And then we put an agreement together. She said, "Yeah, I sell it for $50." I said, "Perfect." I made one phone call, called one of my mentors in the game. They came through and said, "Yeah, I give you $65 for it." Now check this. The dude.
So hold on. Before you elaborate on that, I wanna highlight this point. You said that you contacted one of your mentors.
Yeah.
So having a mentor was strategic.
Yeah, for sure.
In your development in this.
Yeah, for sure. So when I because in the beginning I wanted to flip houses.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So then you got to learn how to put them back together. How much it's going to cost to do this and move this wall and do this and things
Everybody
of that
come
nature.
through that. Yeah.
It's because I thought that was the only way you can make money in this game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But no. Go back to what you just said. It only cost me less than $10 to send this lady a piece of mail. She responded. We put an agreement together that today's day is April, right? So we say, and happy Easter to everybody, who celebrate. But, we like, hey, we going to go in contract right now today.
So is that the standard? What type of contract is that?
It's called
a
purchase agreement.
A purchase agreement.
Yeah, purchase agreement.
We just elaborating for all the people that's listening.
Yeah.
So if you find, people that's listening, if you find a seller, you want to put the seller in a purchase agreement.
Right. So that means you agree to purchase the property. Normally it's about 30 days, right? So in 30 days, a month from now, I'm gonna give you your $50,000.
Okay.
Made the phone call. The lady said, "Oh yeah, go do 65." So at this point, we make a second contract, what's called an assignment contract.
Oh, hold on a minute. Hold it, because he said, because we're gonna walk the people through it. So you got the purchase agreement, and then that's from the seller, but then you still had to find a buyer.
That's right.
So that's where the mentor came in.
It did.
So for the people, I mean, I know, but you guys call it a buyer's list. You want to start a buyer's list,
absolutely.
right? So just for people, because you can't have a buyer without a buyer's list, right? So you want to gain a buyer's list. So I guess getting a buyer's list is just finding people that buy and buy houses, right?
Yeah, so we can do that. We utilize a technology called PropStream. Everybody use it. We were literally one of the first people to do it. Straight
PropStream,
up,
shout out
PropStream. And it's a way that we can filter. We can search the entire city and look at people who paid cash transactions for single family homes. Say he looking for a duplex. We're looking for cash transactions for a duplex in the entire city.
Those are the people that you target.
Oh yeah, the people that we target.
Right.
Or we can strip it down to a zip code, or I can go into a neighborhood with this pencil feature and block off this whole neighborhood and say I'm looking for cash transactions in this neighborhood.
Right.
And then they own at least 2 properties, because that tells me that they're at least a landlord if they own 2 properties.
For sure.
Then we filter those out, run their phone numbers, and call them, and then we say, hey, we just want to add you to the buyer's list, and we get deals all the time.
So if y'all not listening, he's giving y'all the science to doing this, right?
Yeah.
You just got to do your due diligence. Yeah. So first off, you want to find a seller, and you want to get the seller in a purchase agreement, but at the same time, you need a buyer, so you need a buyer's list or a mentor, somebody that that can steer you in the right direction with this type of thing, right? Because if you want to do real estate, you need to reach out and you need to build relationships with other people.
Right. So let me ask you, Nobel, how long did it take you to get that deal?
So that deal, when I started mailing that lady, I started mailing her in March. I was blessed, man. Like, it was less than 30 days that she responded, so I just happened to be on time.
Right.
And then we closed that thing. It's a year anniversary. It was April 3rd, 2019. I got my first check for $15,000.
Congratulations, King.
Year
Congratulations.
with
no money. With no money down.
Yep.
With no money down. See, my story is a little different.
Right.
When I first started out, I had no education.
Right.
I had no mentor. I had no idea what to do.
Right.
It took me 8 months to get my first deal.
8 months.
8 months, but the key was to be consistent and stay persistent with the grind,
right,
and what needs to be done. So
you didn't know about the necessarily the purchase agreement aspect.
No.
At first, you didn't know about. Damn.
No contracts. I didn't know nothing.
You had to learn all of it.
I had to learn everything. I didn't know nothing.
So this is free. So just to clarify, you studied this, and it took you 8 months before you made your first deal, right?
Right.
This is all information that you had to acquire yourself.
Right.
But the information that you're giving now, people can just use it, and they don't have to go through what you went through.
Exactly.
All right. So they can get onto it now.
Exactly. So
right.
how I started my journey was, I started obviously in YouTube watching videos.
Right.
I met a few people who was doing flipping real estate, and I decided to work.
The key was you was trying to build relationships, though. I want you.
Right.
I'm elaborate on certain points that people really need to understand.
Right.
You was out there trying to build relationships because this was the path that you chose, what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Right.
So one of the key things that I did was I was actually just driving down the road, and I seen a guy flipping a house, meaning he was fixing it up. I got out the car, talked with him, got his number, and then I eventually started asking him, can I work for him for free to learn the business, to learn how to flip.
Good shit.
To learn how to get into
That's determination.
Business, right? And
so y'all not understanding. This is what he had to go through. But y'all don't have to go through this. Just pay attention. Go ahead, keep going.
Right. So he was obviously all for it because if I'm bringing some value to him in any way,
And it's for free.
right.
he's gonna snatch it up.
Right.
So every time I went to go work for him, I'm learning and I'm trying to understand what he's doing, what he's not doing, the reasons being to get into this business.
Right.
And that's just the step one, just the knowledge. The
So-
knowledge is key in this business.
So, but I think it determines what type of knowledge, right? Because people can go to a million seminars. Like I've been to a couple of real estate seminars, and I'm still in the hamster wheel,
Right.
going around paying thousands of dollars,
Right.
and I'm still on the hamster wheel. So I think it's about the type of information that you're also receiving, because you could pay for, you can get all the information, but if motherfuckers not showing you how to utilize the information,
Exactly.
because I might not have needed to learn certain things.
Right.
Or I might not have had to pay to go to certain seminars.
Right.
I probably could have just been doing steps A, B, and C.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But they had me doing A, B, C, D, E, F. They tried me going all the way down to Z.
Exactly. And that's a great point you just pointed out, too, because that's exactly what I was going through. I went to a few seminars, paid thousands of dollars, and they were just feeding me information, and I'm trying to run around the city with my head cut off looking for a deal, not knowing that I'm looking in all the wrong places. If they would have just pointed me in one direction,
you could have
and let
conquered
me
it.
master this
And that's
one
what we're doing
direction,
right now for
then
y'all.
It would have helped out a lot.
So how long was it? Before you said it was 8 months before you made your first deal?
Yeah, so let me explain. So 8 months. So when I got with this guy, learning how to flip, there's different.
Shouts out to that guy too.
Yeah, Steve Huber. Shout out to Steve
Huber.
Man. It's my mentor now, still to this day. But there's different aspects of investing in real estate. There's
Right.
flipping, there's wholesaling, there's buying and holding. And he was a flipper.
Right.
And all he did was just fix up and flip properties. So that's
Right.
all he could teach me.
Right.
But you needed capital to be able
do that.
Right, to fix and flip.
That's what a lot of people problem is. People think that, damn, I need cash,
Right,
or I need some type of funding,
right,
in order for me to progress in the real estate.
right. But that's just one aspect of real estate.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how I can get into real estate with no money, because I don't have no money.
Right.
I don't have $50,000 or $100,000 to buy a damn property right now.
Right. These is facts.
So how can I do this with no money? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then I found out about what you call wholesaling.
Right.
Is how you connect directly with the homeowner. See if they're interested in selling the property, and if they are, you can sell it to an end buyer, as my partner Nobel was speaking, and make a profit on that
Right.
end, right?
Right.
So I started doing that for a while. It wasn't working out too much.
But all right, so hold on, because we can't go too far into it. So you said that you was contacting the homeowners.
Right.
So were there other methods rather than you just pulling up on people that own their home? Were there other methods that you was doing to find the homeowners or to contact the homeowners?
Right. So the key is you want to look for people in distress in any way. And what I mean by distress is you want to look for people who owe taxes on their properties, or maybe in pre-foreclosure, or maybe the house just looks like it's ran down from
Right.
the outside.
Right.
You want to try to contact those people and see if they're maybe interested in selling the property.
Okay.
And the reason why you're contacting those people or that area of houses is because those are the ones that are more likely to sell
Right.
than someone who has a nice big fancy
Yeah,
house.
and they're
with a
invested into their home
nice,
for
you know
real.
what I mean?
Right, right.
So you'll be just wasting your time
Right.
going over here when you can focus on one lane of
Free game.
of houses, right?
Free game.
So I started contacting people, and I'm just calling. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to offer for the property. I didn't know how to evaluate
And that was
the
gonna be a question of mine. Like, how do you know from a person that's just getting into real estate? Say if I knew somebody, maybe they were interested in selling their house. How do I know the value of their home without going to them being disrespectful?
Right.
You
So
get what I'm
that's key.
saying?
That's
Or
key.
lowball, or making them feel like I'm lowballing them.
Right.
So how do I figure that out?
That's the knowledge you have to obtain throughout your real estate process. You have to understand and know what a property is worth.
Right.
So I learned that by working for free for my mentor,
Right.
fixing and flipping. So while I'm working for my mentor fixing up the properties, he's telling me how much this is worth, how much that
But
is
is
worth.
there like a template, or is
Yeah.
there a way that you
Yeah.
can find, like you can guesstimate, like if the houses down the street, if I wanted to buy a house down the street, but I didn't know how much they were worth, but I knew
Right.
the lady down the street wanted to sell it, how could I investigate how the other houses are selling around the market? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna share with you what I did, right? So in 2017, because I made my mind up in December of 2016, actually November 2016. Rick Ross, the boss, salute to the fat boy, came
Salute
out
to Ross, man.
with "It's time to buy back the block."
You feel what I'm saying?
And I play that shit on
That's
all my
inspirational.
videos. That's my shit right
That's
there.
a fact.
Like,
That's a fact.
I literally put that. I'll never change that theme. That's my shit because that's what did it, right?
Right.
Because I knew in February 17 I was about to turn 40. So I was going through what I call my midlife crisis. Like, oh shit, half my life over. This it? Oh, I'm slipping. Black man, you bullshit.
Right.
You got to get on your
Right. Start
shit,
putting a lot of
nigga.
pressure on
Right, you got
yourself.
family, you
Yeah,
got
straighten up.
grandkids, let's go.
Right.
And so what I did was I went to Zillow. And I started
The
studying.
real estate?
Yeah,
The real estate
yeah,
joint?
check game.
Okay.
I went to Zillow, and I started studying the homes that sold because it's a feature on Zillow that you hit sold. And then I went to the neighborhood,
Free game for y'all.
which was right by Children's Hospital because that was my target area.
Okay.
And then I started looking at this. You go down on Zillow and hit sold, you're going to see something called price history.
Okay.
So now here go a house on 17th Street that sold for $150, but when you look at the price history, they only paid $30,000. So you see like, oh shit, that's $120,000 that's made,
Profit.
but we don't see what it took them to, the rehab.
that.
But it don't matter. I'm starting to see something.
Right.
I see what they bought it for,
And you see
and
what
then
they
I see
sold
what
it
they
for.
sold it for.
Right.
So I started familiarizing myself with one neighborhood that I said I'm sticking my foot in this neighborhood right here.
Free game.
Because it was popping all around me anyway. They doing rebuilds and things like that. So now again I can see price history, what they bought it for and what they sell it for. So now if they bought it in this condition when it was vacant for 30, 15,000, you see another house that's vacant and the owner call you, you know that, hey sir, this house right here on 17th Street sold for 30,000 in the same condition.
Right.
I think I can do 30,000, and you know what you can end up selling it for because you see it on the market what it's sold for.
Free game.
So you can educate yourself through the Zillow feature in the neighborhood called sold and price history.
Right.
There you go.
So basically, what you want to do is just go on Zillow, and whatever house you want to see what is worth, whatever that property is, you want to look at the specs. What bedroom, how many bath, and what's the square footage.
Right.
And then you see what has sold in that area the same size, the same
Right.
bed, the same bath.
Right.
And
Right.
then you look at the numbers, and then that will tell you what this property is worth that you're looking at.
Cool. So that's good information.
That's how you
'cause
evaluate a
just in
property.
case anybody ever, in case you got a person that wants to sell, and so let's do this on the flip end, right? So you know how to figure out and how to target and how to see how much a property is worth, right? So when it comes to selling, what is a good target point for selling? Like, do you always want to go for top dollar when it comes to selling when you find a seller, or do you kind of want to like give the seller a deal so you can make sure the
Now, do you mean when I'm selling the property?
anybody. Like if I bought Miss Joanne's property down the street, I got her under agreement, and I'm trying to find a buyer.
Okay.
Let's say she wants to sell the property to me for $50,000, right? Houses around there probably sold for $60,000, right?
Okay.
So, do I go to my seller and tell the seller $60,000, or do I tell the seller $58,000,
So
$57,000?
So one of the biggest things about being an investor is because we're paying with cash and because we're investors, we typically do not pay at retail market value.
Right.
We try to buy properties at discounted because
Right.
we're paying with cash at large lump sums. You know what I mean? We try to get at discounted prices.
Right.
And the discounted is at the investor rule. The investor rule is what they say. We do not buy properties 65 to 70% of the ARV or what the property is worth.
So ARV is
Is the average return value or what the
Okay.
property is worth.
After repair value.
so y'all don't. So okay.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. So no
So-
more than 60-70% of the ARV.
Right. So if the property you're saying is worth 60,000 and she's offering 50,000, there will be no. That's not a deal.
Right.
get
So
what
do
I'm
you go
saying?
to the
So-
seller for 48, 47?
Right.
Right.
You would obviously negotiate a deal.
Right,
so
right.
You would negotiate the deal. Get the seller to come down to at least around 30.
Right. That's if you're like if it. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I
Right,
get what you're saying.
Right. So you get the seller to come down and you explain why. You cannot, as an investor, buy a property if the property is only worth $60,000, where am I going to make money at? You know what I mean?
Right. So
I
that's
have
a
to
good
put
point.
all this money into it to get the
So
$60,000.
that's a good point. Just because Miss Joanne got the property down the street for $50,000, but I might have a buyer for $60,000, that doesn't mean that that's a good deal for me as an investor.
Right. Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? That makes sense.
Exactly. So then what you do, you explain that to Miss Joanne, and she understands, and she's agreeable to negotiate the price, make it a fair deal, and then you come to your buyer if you know that the property is worth.
So
$60,000.
we know a fair deal is 60 to 70% of the AVR. ARV.
Yeah.
So a fair deal is 60 to 70% of the ARV.
Right.
All right, it's clicking with me now. Go ahead. I'm not trying to cut y'all
so,
off.
you
I
know,
just wanted to, I wanted to click.
Give them an example, right? So let's just say in basic math, a house is at the end when it's finished, it's worth $100,000.
Okay.
You done flipped it, you done fixed it up, it's worth $100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we gonna do is reverse engineer ourselves in there. Meaning we're gonna go backwards to figure out what price we can offer, right? So if it's $100,000 and we saying, hey, we need 70% of the ARV, which is the same thing as saying
What you were saying was, you get it. Say if the property was worth $100,000, the way to estimate or the way to go into it is to think of taking 30% off top of the AVR, ARV.
yeah.
All right, so go ahead, elaborate on that a little bit.
So remember, they call it the 70% rule. For me, I like it's money, and when you reverse engineer it, just knock off 30%. So if again in this example, the house when it's fixed up, it's pretty, it's gonna sell for $100,000. That's the most. So we're gonna say, well, let's knock 30% off. So they go 30,000. So now we down to 70,000. But we still gotta estimate the repair costs. So say we had 70,000 and the repair cost is gonna be 40,000. So 70 minus 40 is 30.
Right.
So now we say, $30,000 is the maximum amount that we can offer this person
As an investor,
because we have to calculate our profit first and then how much it's going to cost and whatnot. So just take the end number, which is called the after repair value. And the beautiful thing about it is this: Zillow, Realtor, they'll tell you, this home right here in Southern Oregon, the average house is selling for $200,000. They'll tell you the average price.
Right.
And so you would just deduct 30% and deduct what it's going to cost to repair the property. That's going to be your offer price right there.
So I think that's key, right? So if I had the buyer, right? So that's a good way for me to look at it. Miss Jones want to sell her house down the street, but I need to figure out what's a good number for me to come at her to be able to sell, to buy the property, or to even ask her to sell it to me. So I go on Zillow and I research properties around the area that's been sold with the same amount of bedrooms, same amount of bathrooms, same specs as the house I want to buy. So then I deduct the AVR.
ARV.
I keep fucking that up. I want to deduct the ARV, which is usually 30%.
Yeah, 30% off
from the total. Always 30% off the total.
Right.
And then you want to deduct the price for rehabbing the property.
That's right.
From after you deduct the 30%.
That's right.
So that would be a good number for me to go to Miss Jones down the street,
right,
and ask her if she was willing to,
right,
sell a property.
That's right.
Right, but. Can I do that as just me, or do I have to get a LLC? Like, do this have to be like?
Yeah, so you can do that as you, the person.
Okay.
You can do this as you, the person. Here's the thing: in wholesale, you do not need a license. But however, I would say, check.
So what is the point of going to real estate? They make you go to real estate school and get these real estate licenses.
I honestly say it's for the connections of the professionalism, because you may have some out-of-state buyers that's coming in. They may want to buy some stuff. So for me, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. It's more for the.
But you don't need to go to real estate school.
Oh, absolutely not. Not to get into business. You know what I'm saying? Like we just showed you a $40,000 check. You know what I'm saying? That he got for nothing. We just made a phone call to the lady. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you don't have to go to school for this part of the game that we're giving you. But What was your question again?
So do I need a LLC?
The LLC portion, right. So the LLC portion of it, you can get checks in your name. Right? He get checks in his name. You know what I'm saying? But you can get an LLC. Now, it's very important with the LLC game, and I teach this on the FamilyWealthClub.com.
Shouts out to FamilyWealth.com. I need y'all to log on to that. FamilyWealthClub.com.
Yep, FamilyWealthClub.com. I teach this aspect because it's called asset protection, okay? And this is not legal advice. This is just me sharing, okay? I'm going to share with you what an attorney shared with me, and I give my people the video to watch this and whatnot. So when you're creating an LLC, you need to have 2 LLCs. One is going to be a holding company. You want to put it in a jurisdiction that's friendly, that basically protects you as the individual, that will stop would-be creditors who wants to sue you and try to take your assets. And in this jurisdiction, they say, nope, money over here is money for this. Ain't got nothing to do with this person per se.
Okay.
So now you got a holding company that's formed first, and then you form your local LLC.
Okay.
Because think about this. If I got a Wyoming LLC and I start doing business in Ohio, I'm subject to Ohio law. So what they do in Wyoming don't apply here in Ohio.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So
okay.
you got your local LLC that you do business in, and then you're gonna have a holding company in a different thing, in a different, in a friendly state, right? Such as Wyoming or Nevada. Okay.
So those are the states that you recommend, Wyoming or Nevada?
For the holding company.
For the holding company.
Right. So then what happens is this. So my man doing business in his local Tillman buyers doing local, right? He doing this thing locally in Ohio. Okay. And so then if I wanted to sue him and say Ohio is not friendly, and I sue him, and 100% of the money in his company is coming to him, the judge may say, well, you give him 50% of your money until you pay him this $100,000 or this $1 million lawsuit that he got on you. So now I get his money.
Yeah.
But if his LLC would have been structured in the way that says his operating agreement, his holding company is actually the managing partner of the business.
Right.
And 95% of the proceeds goes to that partner.
Free game.
And then 5% goes to this individual.
Right.
Let's look at the math. Let's just say if it's $100,000, he only gets 5%.
5,000.
He only gets $5,000.
Right.
The other $95,000 goes to his holding company.
His holding company
that he owns. But we're not talking about his holding company.
We're
talking about his local business.
Right.
And since he is entitled to 5%, me as the creditor is only entitled to what he gets.
Right.
And this is how wealthy people set up asset protection.
Right. And this is how they do it.
And
And that's exactly what it's called, asset protection.
So real quick, let me jump in real quick. This is another key thing why Stitch keep talking about building relationships, right? So before I met Nobel, I knew none of this shit. And I still barely know a lot of this shit. So when I have questions, I'm able to call my partner who I built a relationship with over time.
These is facts.
And he's able to give me, hey, man, do it this way. Don't do it this way, because of the relationships and rapport I built over time.
Facts.
It's very important.
That you build relationships and that you build. You got to. If you're searching for something, you're gonna find it.
Right.
If you out here just wasting time, twiddling your thumbs, not doing nothing with your life every day, idle time is the devil's playground, man.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
So wholesaling is relationship key. What I learned, being in this business, what they was talking about earlier, you calling somebody, Stitch. Let's say you call that lady Miss Jones and offer $50,000.
Right.
What's gonna separate you? Because I'm calling Miss Jones too. He's calling Miss Jones too. They're calling Miss Jones too.
Right.
So what's gonna separate you from everybody else and have that lady sell to you?
I would have to build a relationship.
That relationship is
Would
key.
definitely have to build a relationship.
Exactly. So that's number one. So when you're talking to these people, you always want to try to listen, understand what they're saying, and always try to build a rapport in a follow-up call with them.
Right.
Always try. I always try to meet with them if you can.
So the goal would be to target an area that you want to do business in first, right? Mm-hmm. So then you would research through there's a lot of different sites, but you could definitely use Zillow to research the prices, right? So then you want to find dilapidated homes, ran down homes, hopefully in that area, right?
Right.
So then you want to contact the owner. Yeah. But you want to contact the owner in in regards of building a relationship rather than coming off at first and trying to buy their property.
How does that phone call go?
Man, look.
Hello.
How you doing, Miss Jones? My name is Derwin with Tillman Home Buyers.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right, ma'am. I was actually calling in regards to a property you own at 123 Main Street. Yes, ma'am. I was just calling today to see if you had any interest or ever even thought about selling a property at all.
I'm so tired of you guys calling me.
Oh, you get a bunch of these calls, ma'am, huh?
I do.
I totally understand. I would get annoyed too, man. These things come back to back. I totally understand. I do apologize, but I was just actually in the area and I was driving by. And I'm actually an investor in your area. I'm actually from the area as well. I grew up right around the corner from the big walnut that's right there on East Main Street.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I actually grew up right there. I went to East Main Middle, right down the block there, actually. Grew up there. My whole family's actually from there. And I've been getting into real estate for the past 2 years now. And I actually drive by your property all the time. And I just decided to see if you had any interest or ever thought about selling.
You know what? Because I don't want to be rude, but I might sell it. I might.
See, we ain't going to give y'all all the game, but you see, that's how basically you get in there and continue to build the relationship with them, right?
You got to build a relationship before you come off just asking, yo, you want to sell your property?
Right.
It's a finesse game with it, right?
Right.
Right. So when I was like, if I'm saying, yeah, I'm tired of y'all phone calls, right? He said he understand. So then he can wrap it up right there and whatnot. I know you get these calls all the time. Investors are calling you. Then he can call back on a follow-up call and say, hey, I don't want to bother you. Remember, I talked to you last week. I'm just a friendly home guy. You know what I mean? Like,
but you also said you can solicit through. You could find the address. You can get the address, and you can solicit through cards,
right?
Postcards,
right?
Business. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you said that cost you less than $10 to get your first one off.
Right. So that was just for one house. So
right.
The mail that we run it through our software PropStream. I like
Shouts
to
out to PropStream.
I like to do jumbo cards so we can stand out. So the more you buy, the less it go. But you can start off anywhere from 74 cents down to 70 cents a postcard.
Okay.
But again, for $100, you know what I mean? I'm probably only going to get like 132 postcards. Whereas I can take that same $100, I can skip trace, which is find the owner's phone number, and I can get 833 leads.
So if a person said, listen, I want to skip trace, I got $100 right now, I want to get into this shit. Mm-hmm. How would I go about getting the skip trace?
Yeah, so you can go to third-party skip tracers like REI Skip. We used to use them. We use PropStream. Again, the PropStream thing is $99 a month. But they got a built-in skip tracer that has been very effective for us. Very effective. And so it's only 12 cents a phone number. So you can go to True People Search. There's free ones. You can just type in skip tracer, bulkskiptracing.com. There's a bunch of them that's out there. But we use PropStream. Like I do everything through PropStream. I try to keep it central because I can handle postcards. I can create my buyers list. I can create my sellers list. I can target everything. I can skip trace in there. I can do a lot of stuff within that particular software. So if you have the investment of $99, do it.
So each skip trace is just cents on the dollar.
12 cents.
So it's just cents on the dollar for you to get a skip trace. So at $100, you get 800.
Like 833 phone numbers.
So out of them 833 phone numbers, if you're calling doing your due diligence, people, you should, with $100, you should be able to get your first lead as he did and as everybody else did, and be able to connect with your first buyer, your first seller.
That's it. Definitely.
That's it.
So this is free game that we're giving y'all, and I need y'all to do your due diligence with this because we're trying to generate generational wealth. We're trying to connect with our people. We're trying to connect with each other. We're trying to build a stronger community within each other. And the problem is a lot of people have money, or a lot of people want to get money, but they just don't know how to do it with the real estate. It doesn't cost you no money. We just gave y'all the free game that y'all can get to get the money.
Right. And here's a key point too. Remember, obviously you're going to have to build a relationship with a contractor, right? Because how you going to go in the house and be like, oh shit, the roof is falling apart. How do you even know to say, I need to take at least $5,000 off of this? Oh, the foundation got an issue. You know what I mean? How are you going to even know how to justify these numbers for your rehab costs? So you want to get with a contractor, somebody that's friendly. You can call them up and say, hey, I'm a local investor. I buy out of town, but I'm currently looking to get in this market right here, and I'm looking for somebody that's going to be able to handle all of my workload. So it sounds bigger than what you are, but it's the truth.
Right.
That's where you're going in your journey. You want to tell, I want somebody that can just be able to pick up the phone, that can handle all my workload.
Right.
I want you to come and look at properties. And for us, we don't pay for people to come out and give us estimates. I don't knock the people who charge and people who pay and whatnot, but we just,
because we would assume that some people come out there, but they want to charge.
Yeah, they may say, well,
but then again, like you said, it's on relationships though, because you build the right relationships. Right. But this is the thing that I need y'all to understand. Like, this is not something that's just going to come and fall in your lap, right? This is information that you can utilize, but at the same time, you have to go out and utilize it. You have to go out and do your due diligence. You have to do something, and with doing that, you're going to generate relationships. You're going to create bonds, and then you're going to grow further. This is how everybody starts, but this is a secret that is kept from a lot of people. So we're trying to give you the information.
And two things: join your local RIA, which is a real estate investment association. Join your local RIA physically, and do the Facebook aspect of, it may be Chicago Wholesalers on Facebook. It's a group. Join these groups. Join biggerpockets.com. Start networking with people so you can build your team.
So I got a question though. Like, all right, so even if, so say you're doing it a couple of times, like, do you really need a real estate agent to buy and sell property?
To sell, if you're fixing and flipping, I would say to sell.
For sure. Yeah.
But as far as to get into it, as far as we're talking about wholesaling,
I mean, just wholesaling, buying and selling property.
It's good to have real estate agents that that can possibly send you properties that you can possibly.
So it's good to build those relationships as well.
It's definitely good to build the relationship.
A real estate agent.
Yeah, real estate agent and broker. Shout out to Misty Lynn.
Misty Lynn.
You know what I mean? That's my mentor. That's my number one.
Big ups to Misty Lynn.
You know what I mean? So what happened was she was taking it. Listen, I bought a house, right? And listen, you got to start somewhere, right? I wrote books on different subject matters. Spiritual wisdom for the 21st century.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on.
No. I want you to
I'm gonna show you how I raised the money.
No. I want to shout out before, because I'm a reader. There's other readers that follow my platform. Yeah. Shout out your books, because these is gonna be joints that people got to get. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's on a whole nother spiritual vibe. Different topic, but it's called Spiritual Wisdom for the 21st Century. But what I was saying that to say, there were people who were supporting me in my movement for other things that I were doing, taking tours throughout the country, meditating, reading Hebrew, like we was talking about, like all kind of stuff, right? I said, listen, we got to go get some money, y'all. We got all this information. We black. We got all this power to the people, but we broke. You know, like, come on, man, it don't make sense.
Right.
So let's put some money up. So we polyed up and we put our money up.
Right.
We took the money, man, went ahead and we purchased a property, right? So you purchased the property, and then that's when I absolutely gave a call to, actually Misty came in. She's a realtor, and she's looking at the property, and she see it. She's like, oh, you was with Fortune Builder? I was like, yeah. She asked me, did I know somebody who's in Fortune Builder? I said, yeah, and whatnot. She said, oh, I sell all his properties. I said, cool. And so then when I would go to these other properties, I would give her a call and say, hey, do you mind coming over here? Look. So she knew I was a newbie.
Right.
But she would take the time out, and she'd go ahead and she would come and be like, yeah, I will move this right here. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be about $70,000. Well, do you got somebody who can do that? Yeah. She started sharing contacts with me.
Right.
So when I got my first deal, and I made that $15,000. The house that the lady agreed to sell it to me for $50,000. I called her up first because she was mentoring me, and she said, "Oh yeah, real. I can do 65." The dude across the street was flipping the house, and he said, "I'll give you 70." I said, "The $5,000 don't matter to me, homie. No, I'm taking care of my people who took the time out to educate
build
me.
them relationships. You feel me?
So a realtor in this business is key because she works with all of the top. She worked with the top.
Right.
You see all these new builds that's going on in Old Town East and stuff like that. You're gonna see her name on it. You know what I mean? So people like that, you absolutely need to be having relationships with.
So if I'm traveling out of state because I drive semis, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say I'm in Oklahoma or Arkansas or something, and I see a property, and it might be a good financial thing for me, right? Should I even think about trying to get properties in out of state, or should I focus on the state that I'm in and figure it out?
Depends what your end game is, right? So I've done out of state deals. They call it virtual wholesaling. If you want to wholesale it, the game applies anywhere. No matter where you at, right? Unless that jurisdiction say you can't do it. But if that's wholesale. I've done those. You know what I'm saying? I never even
You
seen
said
the
in
house.
Chicago you only could do 2 a year.
Yeah, they changed their law up there. It's like 2 if I'm not mistaken.
That's
2
wild.
you can do, but it's a way you can get around that, bro.
Right.
And what I'm saying, see, this is the thing. No, straight up. And I'm not trying to nigga rig now. I'm gonna show y'all something. Like, if I got a business now, okay, I can't wholesale my contract. Okay, I got an LLC. This is a business. I'm in contract with this lady for ABC. You know, for with my LLC, ABC LLC. He wants the deal. And then I know the wholesale fee I can make $30,000. Hey, bro, I'm gonna sell you my LLC. You gonna come in on my LLC? I changed the operating agreement. Me and you partners, and when this deal closed, guess what? I'm gonna exit out the LLC, and it's now yours. You can't tell me I can't sell my business.
Right.
I'm not wholesaling. I'm selling my business.
Right.
And my business
So that's a
acquire
good-
properties, and I sell my business.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't play. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's
We ain't gonna
always
play
a way,
semantics
you know what I'm
with
saying?
it. Right.
Exactly. It's it's always ways and stuff. But if to answer your question about out of town, you can do wholesale deals out of town. I'll give you an example. About an hour away from here, I see a deal. He got my postcard. He called me. And then I locked the deal down. I go online, look at the numbers. And then I said, I'm going to send my realtor over there. I called a local realtor in that market. I'll pay you $100. That guy already had a relationship with her. I'm like, Trace, I'm going to send you $100. Go over there and take some pictures for me.
Right.
So she take pictures of all the rooms. I want to see pictures of the electrical panel. I want to see pictures of the hot water tank. I will need to see pictures of the
So these are
furnace.
key things. These are key
Right?
things.
Oh, yeah.
From a
Oh,
buyer, which you want to look for when
You
you
look at the
when you
condition
look.
of those hardcore
when you're
mechanicals,
expecting a
'cause those
property.
Those are big ticket items. Your
Okay.
windows, your roof, your foundation. Do it have central air? The furnace, the electrical panel.
Okay.
Hot water tank, right? And so I'm looking at these key things, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a smoking deal. So the guy agreed to sell it to me. I forget what price now, but he agreed to sell it to me. She sent me the pictures. Of course, I like it. When he agreed to sell it to me, I put that thing on Facebook Marketplace or in the Facebook investment group for that city. Dude from California called me up and said, oh, yeah, I'll do it. I'll take it. And he bought it. I never physically seen the property. My people just sent me pictures. I just
see
paid
what I'm
them
saying?
$100 to take pictures for
You
it.
see what I'm
you
saying?
was talking
You see what I'm
about buyers earlier. They're gonna come to you if you got a deal.
If you got a deal, then
If you
They
got
gonna
a
come
deal,
to
they're
you?
gonna come to you. You can sell. It's anything. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna sell itself.
It's gonna sell itself.
That's wild. So I mean, so do y'all think from an investor's point of view? Now we talking from an investor's point of view, right? Do y'all think wholesaling is better than rental properties?
go ahead.
Long term, obviously, no.
Yeah, long term. No.
No. But I'm never gonna get away from wholesaling. That's always gonna be the foundation, the core.
Right.
That's
Right.
the breadwinner.
So, but I'm saying, but what is so the long term goal is rental properties then?
Right.
Wholesaling is still
Right.
something, but the long term goal is you want to find. So, all right. So, look, how do you go about choosing something? You could run through 50 properties a year, 30, 40, 50 properties a year, right?
Yeah.
How do how do you know which one you want to choose to be the one that you want to rent out? You running through a lot of different properties. Like, how do you be like, damn, this is the one I want to choose for rent. This is the one I want to rent out.
Just numbers.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. Numbers. How would you break the numbers down? Like, all right, so
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I got currently right now, I'm working on the 20. I got 19 doors right now.
okay,
Right, so on the rental side. Right?
Okay.
And
19 rentals.
Yeah, no, not they're mixed up. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But meaning I can have an 8-plex, you know what I mean, a 4, and then the rest could be single family homes.
Right, right, right.
But 19
19
doors.
doors.
That's
Right,
just
right.
paying me, right?
Right.
All right, so what I will do is I use the wholesale money, because even if you go get a loan, nobody's giving you 100% loan unless you got a private lender and you got a relationship where they're like, yo, I'll give you all the money because you banking, right? This is a good deal.
so a private lender is somebody good to try to find and somebody to associate with.
I think that's really the most important piece of the puzzle to a degree, as you want to scale, because when you jump into rentals, you either gonna use all your wholesale money, or you can use somebody else's money. So why use my 30 grand where I can go tap somebody and say, hey, listen, you got 30 grand, I'll loan it to me, I'll give you an 8% return on your money. That's $2,400 a year.
So is 8% normal standard, or is that good?
Oh, listen, 6 to 8 is amazing in the investing world.
Oh,
In the
that's what's
investor
up.
world, 6 to 8. So
That's what's up.
I had a person in real life. She got money in her retirement. She noticed that she was only making 4% out in her California pension plan. She's no longer an employee of that, and it's just sitting there, but it's making 4%. I can double that. I make 8. So she created something called a self-directed IRA, cashed her cash out, put it in that self-directed IRA, loaned it to me. I then take that, I buy a property, and I told her 8%. So 8% of 30,000 is 2,400. Divide that by 12 months in a year, that's $200 a month. So now when the rent comes in, $700-800, whatever it is, I pay her $200 a month per the agreement. So why use my $30,000 when I can use her $30,000 for just $200 a month, and I can keep the rest, and I have zero money in the deal, and I own it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And
right.
so certain deals you can look at such as that, it may make sense. Or even if you got the cash, I stay broke. I don't never had no money, bro.
Yeah, cash
I stay broke.
Cash
you know
is fiat.
Yeah.
Cash is fiat
broke.
currency.
I
for those
always
that don't
pumping
know.
into another deal, and we put it in what we do, and then I'll go buy some property real fast because eventually you want the cash flow that, because you see in wholesale, you don't know when you're going to get another one. You got a $40,000 check in February, but here go March, here go April, that mortgage due again.
Right, that's why I was asking. So do you think it's better for a rental property? Because with a rental property, that's still guaranteed bread, but then you have to worry about the tenant that you put in there. And another thing is, if you're getting a rental property, do you invest in the rehab before you rent it out?
Yeah, for sure. So I have me personally. I just finished one.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just finished one. We went ahead and we cleaned it up, and I knocked down some cabinets. And I like to do stuff my way, and I like my houses to be nice.
Right.
As if I was living in them. That's just me because I take pride in this thing.
Okay.
And whatnot, and my tenant enjoys it. And I only paid I paid $21,000 to get them out of their mortgage. The homeowner didn't want nothing. They just wanted to walk away from their mortgage. So $21,000 for the mortgage, and I'm all in over there 36. So it had to be about $15,000 for a quick rehab, right? So I'm all in $36,000. Man, we got that thing done in 3 weeks. And I got a tenant for it for $950. I'm gonna do the math real fast and show you how we do it on another side. And we rent it for $950. So $950 times 12 is $11,400
a year.
If you take 11.4 divided by the $36,000 it cost me all out, that's a 31% return on your money, man.
Damn.
So when you see stuff like that,
numbers don't lie, man.
What if I would I could wholesale it and make $5,000? Shit, even if I make $10,000,
right,
bro, I'm making $900 a year. I'm making $11,000 a year, rather $900 a month. I'm doing $11,000 a year.
Right.
So why take this one-time lump sum money when I got this thing for life?
So basically, you're saying when the numbers is right, that's the property that you want to invest in.
Right.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And another thing is, you always want to fix up your properties because the tenants are going to they're a replica of you.
Right.
If you don't take care of your shit, they're not going to take care of your shit.
But I know a lot of dudes, I ain't going to hold you. I know a lot of dudes that do property and they do rental properties, and a lot of them, they rent through Section 8. Yeah. They got Section 8 properties, right? Yeah. And for real, they got a lot of business. So it's renting through Section 8 good for investors' point of view. Yeah.
I never done it. I'm open to do it for sure. It's guaranteed money, and one of my people.
But do you think that costs you on the back end? Because these people I be talking to, they got a lot of complaints about.
Yeah. I hear both. I got people who like, man, every Section 8 tenant don't fall under that guys that they trifling, don't want to work, and you know what I mean. They're gonna mess up your crib. Some people cherish it and treat it as if it's their own. Right. So that's up to the individual. You know what I mean?
Right,
but I get the notion.
But for a first-time investor, should I just focus on just...
Well, I say shit, get whatever you can get. If it's a Section 8, get a Section 8. If it's not, get something.
With the value.
Get the cash flow going.
Get the cash flow going.
That's the end goal to every month, is to have cash flow coming in. Something that you're not working for.
All right, so if I get the property, right, like how do I maximize the investment property profits? Because everybody wants to maximize their profit now, right? Because we all trying to gain a little extras, right? So how do I maximize my profits if I got the rental property? Like how do I do it?
Right.
Even if I rehab it, like do I list it at the top of the range? So say if every other unit around me is paying like say $1,000 a month, do I charge $1,350 because I got it nice in there?
Well, I think that'd be probably a little too high. You want to be around that 1,000. If it's going for 1,000,
if you just rehabbed and your house is nice, but let's say but you're the only freshly rehabbed house on the block, right?
Right. 13's not.
Do you go with the same number that everybody else is paying, or do you try to get your money back?
No, you would obviously go higher. Because
try to get your money back, right?
Yeah, because obviously your house has been updated. It looks better than.
But that's kind of like a risk that you're taking, because some people might say, "Oh no, it's too high." So then you got it sitting on the market for a little bit, trying to find a renter.
Right. So that's when your knowledge, your due diligence comes in before you even purchase the property. Right. So if you're looking at this property, you need to, and if you want to hold it, fix it up, and potentially rent it, you need to look at the area and see what it's doing, what the rent's going for.
Right.
If the rent is increasing a little bit, then you know that you can come into this one, fix it up to its maximum potential,
and get max out of it.
Right, and get max out of it.
Right.
So it's all about your due diligence. You got to be educated.
And presentation. You know what I mean? Like I redid mine, and some people are lazy when they do their listings, 2-bedroom. Like mine will say something like, "Welcome to Maplewood." You know what I mean? This newly renovated, blah blah blah, and this castle is offering. It's all in presentation. So if you take, and even if you can say, "Welcome," presented to you by, Buckeye Luxury Rentals. Like, I'm telling you it's luxury.
Right.
I'm painting the picture and letting you know that this is not your average stuff. So therefore my price may be $50, $100, $200 more than market value. But typically I'm right there, $50 to $100 more than what the market is asking, because I'm trying to push the envelope. And I've been successful doing it thus far. I just got one more that I gotta let go. You know what I mean? Everybody else around me is at 650. I'm at 7 right now. You know what I mean?
So you said it's a good thing to have contractors. So on your journey, you're building these relationships. You're trying to meet new people. It's a good thing to have contractors, right? Oh, yeah. What about inspectors? Do you in the state of Ohio, do you necessarily need to get your joint inspected? Do you have to?
The end game buyer who's going to get financing from the bank and they want to live in this house, there are the ones that the bank is going to make them get the inspection.
Okay.
The inspection for us as the investor is your contractor taking a look and looking at some things. Okay. Not your typical home inspection for the mortgage.
Right. That's what I'm talking. Okay, that's for the end buyer.
Yeah, that's for the end buyer.
Okay, that's what's up.
That would be more so when you flipping houses.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You flip the house, the buyer comes in and she brings her inspector because she's going to live in it for 30 plus years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to be a home.
So that's another thing I want to get into real quick. 30-year mortgage plans. What do y'all feel about that?
Man,
I think they're a good idea.
You think they're a good idea?
I think financing everything is a good idea. It's all about being financially educated and what you're going to do with the money. So why would you go in and pay $100,000 to $200,000 for a property if you're able to finance it and put a down payment and put a tenant in there and have them pay the mortgage off for you?
Makes sense to me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can save that. Instead of using that $100,000, you can take $5,000 to $10,000 and get 10 properties. Yeah. Now you got 10 properties instead of one.
Explain that. So yeah.
Yeah, y'all gotta explain that.
So what he's saying is, hypothetically speaking, you got $100,000 in cash.
Okay.
Now here's the thing:
$100,000 in cash that I want to use.
I want to use to buy a house, right? Let's say we want to buy it, and whether we're gonna fix it up, no matter. Just say we just got $100,000 to make a purchase, right?
Right.
So a lot of people be like, no, I don't want no debt. I hate that. You know what I mean? So they're gonna take their $100,000 and they're gonna buy this one deal. What he is saying is, hey, the bank may say, listen, you are allowed to have 10 mortgages in your name. You know that, right? You can have 10 mortgages in your name. So now this also means that you can either have 10 single family houses or you can have up to 10 quads, because the same loan, like a FHA, the same loan that they give you for a single is the same loan for a duplex, a triplex, and a quadplex. And so now that means that this is why white people do something called house hacking, y'all. House hacking is they get an FHA loan for a low down payment of only 3%. So this $100,000 house, the bank say, well, give me $3,000. This your first house. Go ahead. Give us this $3,000.
We'll never get that.
So here go $3,000, right? And so now, instead of you buying a single family home and have to pay this $1,000 mortgage, you can get a duplex and rent the other side, and they pay the mortgage. And since they pay the mortgage, this now starts to free your time up for you to pursue your passions. Or you take that same $3,000 down payment and you say, you know what, I'm going to buy me a quad. One person gonna pay the mortgage, and the other two people, the other two is gonna actually put money in my pocket, and I live in the other one myself,
right,
for a year.
Right,
you're supposed to live there.
And
can't
we
tell you what to
get
do.
These
you know
same
what I'm saying?
loans, but we just not. We don't know it.
We don't know how to.
We want to own everything. No, I want to own my house. I want to own it. I live here for 30 years.
We could do the same thing that they do.
So remember, for that down payment though, say the bank say, listen, you an investor, give us, let's say hypothetically, $20,000 down, because as an investor you may pay $20,000 because that's 20%. Right. So now that's 5 stacks of 20, right? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
Right.
I can go buy 5 investment properties with my 100,000 versus I don't want no debt. I'm scared of leaving. I don't want no debt, right? I don't want no debt. Versus that one house you spend your whole 100,000. Now we got 5 houses when we use leverage.
Right.
So that's why he's saying that loan, you go for it. You use other people's money. OPM is boss in this game.
Other people's money. OPM, pound sign OPM, other people's money. What else? Okay, I'm gonna get a shirt. Like, what else? Pound sign OPM. Other people's money, man. Because we trying to show y'all how to get financially educated, and this was a learning experience for me too, because I didn't know nothing about nothing that they was talking about. So we trying to figure this out, and I'm gonna do my due diligence. I hope y'all do the same, man. We trying to generate generational wealth, and it's all semantics with words and paperwork, y'all. It doesn't cost no money. It doesn't cost you nothing but your time and your brain. You feel what I'm saying? And if you take the time to sit down and let your brain work and execute a plan, you can execute the plan like these two done, and they continue to do around the state. Yeah. You in other states. Yeah. You said you're about to be in other states in a minute.
Soon.
And RB, Moolah, what's going on? You got any questions, Moolah?
And remind me before we close out, remind me to share with y'all how to get in the rental game with very little money.
Hold on, we'll do that right now. Can we
hear
that right now?
What you said?
How to get in the rental game with little money?
With very little money.
Can we hear that real quick?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm learning.
This is very important because, see, this is the thing, man. I love teaching for my folks, my people, right? And I understand what it's like to come from a position of not having. I still don't have no money. Whether I got $1 million in assets and I can sell them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I always stay broke because I'm always going into the next deal. But this is how you get. It's something called subject to existing financing.
This shit is so sweet.
Subject to existing financing.
This shit is so sweet.
This is
Let me pay attention.
This is if the owner has financing. Remember, that's why it's called subject to the existing finance, meaning that the owner has a mortgage on it. Okay. Now, if she don't have a mortgage on it, then the next thing will be what's called owner finance. The owner, and I did both of those, and I walk you through both of them real fast. So subject to. So now what we do with this software with PropStream, I'll target low equity properties.
Okay.
Meaning that the lady owed $100,000 to the bank, and the house is only worth $85,000. Mm-hmm. So she owes $15,000. She sold that house and got $85,000 cash. The bank is still like, give me my $15,000, right? But she don't got it. She broke. She don't have it, and she's tired of this house. Her husband is falling down the stairs. He's getting older. She got to cut the grass. This is real life. This is my first subject to deal, right? So here's the solution. I'll give you
free game
$3,000 in your pocket to help you move out versus you having to come up with $15,000 that you don't have. I'll give you $3,000 in your pocket. Mm-hmm. You sign the house over to me, and my company will now take over your payments. Now, this only works if the rent, which in this case, in this area, $1,250, because I charge $50 for the dog, $1,250 a month, and the mortgage is only $700.
Right.
So now I keep the difference.
$550.
See?
Right.
That's right. I keep the difference. So now I'm looking for people who are what's called upside down in their mortgage. They got negative equity. They owe more to the bank than what the house is worth. Mm-hmm. So there's a solution for these people. You come in, you just got to have a little bit of money and say, okay, I can give you about $2,000 to help you move and whatnot. And then, from this point, I still got to come in. They smoke cigarettes. I had to get the tar. I got to paint. I still got to do some things in here to turn it, right? So you got to have a little bit of turn money and whatnot, and give her a little bit of move out money. They out of there. You take over the mortgage, and then you just basically have your tenant pay it, and then you keep the difference.
And the mortgage is in your company's name.
Nope. The mortgage stays in the owner's name.
Okay.
And then you create a financial power of attorney. And then this gives you the rights for finances only. This gives you the right to sign in. I sign into the Wells Fargo, change the mailing address. They got to mail me anything dealing with this account. Wells Fargo has to communicate with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now it's still in the previous owner's name. Now I changed the deed, right? Because she gave me the money. She gonna sign the deed. You filed a deed downtown, and you want to do this with somebody that's experienced. Our title companies or your attorney, if you're in a state that deals with attorneys, you want to get with somebody that's experienced and subject to existing financing, because the bank can technically say, "Oh, you sold the house, give me my $100,000."
Right.
So you don't want that to happen. So get with somebody that's experienced. But just to give you the
but
gist
that goes
of
back
it,
to the relationship.
That's right. The gist of it is, hey, I gave her the money, she signed it over to me. And now my tenant comes in, pays that mortgage, and I keep the difference. Then cost me nothing but just a couple $1,000s to get her out of there. And now I own a rental property.
And that's a whole rental property, and that's what you're getting. You're getting finance off that, and it's always going to be a profit if you do it right. If it's the right spot.
And then the other one, owner finance, meaning there's free and clear. And then the owner say, you know what, I want $30,000 for it. Then I say, well, would you consider taking $15,000 in cash and $150 a month for 5 years? That'll equal $15,000. And she'd say, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that, because this shit getting on my nerve. The tenant and they beefing, whatever the case may be, and they'd do that. And so next thing you know, instead of you coming up with 30, you just got a house for 15. And who's paying the 150? The tenant's paying the 150, right? And so now you charge him $700. Your tenant pays the $150. You keep the $550 in your pocket, minus your insurance and stuff like that. But you get what I'm going. And then it's called owner financing. So you may ask the owner, well, would you be open to terms? He's notorious for asking, would you be open to terms? And they'll tell you, I never done it before. Maybe. Depends what you got. Shoot me something on paper. Let me see what you're talking about.
And then that's when I hit Nobel. Hey, Nobel, look, I got another one on terms.
Yeah.
Hit your shit up, write it up.
Hey, do y'all think? All right, so because there's a lot of people right now that are renters, right? Do y'all think renters insurance is something that renters should have?
I make all my leases. They have to acknowledge that they have it, because I'm not liable.
Right.
So I don't make them have it.
Right.
But in your lease, you acknowledge.
But do you think
that
it's a good thing for them to have?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So all insurance is good, regardless.
Yeah.
And I want to say,
they look at it as just another bill.
Right.
But how is renters insurance an asset though?
Yeah, shit. My people, got in the house.
I'm just saying, explain it to them though. They look at it as just another bill. But how would renters insurance be an asset?
You had any damages?
Yeah, I haven't had any damages, but I got a family member whose daughter left a candle lit and the house caught on fire, and they got put into a hotel because of that. You know what I mean? So just a hotel, and they start to get the value of their things back. Right. You got to have renters insurance just protect you, any of your personal valuables in the house.
Another thing, we've been dealing with a lady for about 6 months to a year now. She has a house in the.
So,
go ahead.
So, because you said renters insurance is really good, right?
Yeah.
But what if I was the owner? Should I get insurance on it? Like, say if I
for sure. I was about to explain it.
Right.
If you're the owner of the building,
or the home. Yeah. So say I find a buyer and the seller. But the buyer sells it to me, and then I go find a seller. But when the buyer sells it to me, should I get insurance on it? Like, what if I own it before I find the seller?
No, you don't.
The seller sells it to me. What if I sell it before? What if I own it before I find a buyer? Yeah. What if I own it before I buy a buyer? Like Miss Jones wants to sell me a house, I buy Miss Jones' house, right?
Anything.
But before I find a buyer, should I put insurance on it?
Yeah. So listen, man. I couldn't afford insurance on one of my deals.
Because this is an expense that people going to have to pay, right? That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to keep it real. I was like, man, we doing this flip, this insurance bill, ain't got it. And I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope nothing happened. Even though nothing happened, somebody came and stole my AC, you know what I'm saying, because I didn't put a cage around it. But nothing drastic happened when the building burned down, right? And so I didn't. But you want to, because things can happen, man.
Right.
So you want to be insured.
Right. At all times.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah. Anytime it's in your name, because it's in your name at that point, whether your company name or your name, you need to have an insurance policy on it.
Free game for y'all. Free game
now,
for y'all.
Now, if you're wholesaling it, you don't have to worry about
'cause you
getting
don't own
insurance because you don't own it.
You don't own it.
You're just
Right.
selling it to
But
somebody
if
else.
you
It's on
own
the
it, if it's in your
paperwork.
name, it's on the paperwork. You want to have some insurance on it, especially if it's an
sure.
asset.
Yep.
Right. And
Definitely.
elaborate on that. You said you was you don't use fiat currency. You always have your money working for you.
Yeah. So I say I stay broke. So I got that from my mega mentor Grant Cardone. I just stay broke, man.
Shouts out to Grant Cardone.
I get money, and that's one of the rules in the millionaire, booklet. Stay broke. It say stay poor, stay broke. So I get money, and then I'm looking for a next deal. Next thing you know, I got a deal. We may get a wholesale fee $15,000. And then I'm like, oh shit, here go this lady who want to do a owner finance for $15,000. The house is worth $70,000 and it got a tenant in it, and I can get it for $15,000. I'm going. So I'll just be broke. Sorry,
Right.
I get it. I get another.
We'll figure it out.
And so I stay broke because I'm always dumping my money into these deals, and I'm building up my rental portfolio.
This is how you make your money work for you.
Right.
That's
Because a
what-
lot
that's
of
the
people just think
definition
putting
that I
it in
mean.
the savings account is
Right,
the
no.
best thing to do.
No.
And
You make
right.
0%.
Make
Right,
zero.
right.
Get
So
your
all you
money out of
people
there
out
right
there,
now.
you got 15,000, 7,000, 20-something thousand, 30,000, and it's just sitting in the savings account, and you don't have no money working for you while you sleeping. It's a problem, right? So this is free game that y'all could be using. Take your money, man. Let it do something with you, or take your brain and let it work with you. You feel what I'm saying? Let it work for you. Go ahead, Mula, you had a few questions, real quick.
Yeah, I just. Yo. Yeah.
I can hear you.
I just had a quick question though. I mean, you basically answered all my questions. I just want to know, like, say, like, what would y'all do? Like, say if the 30 days is coming up, you're on crunch time. Like, what if that 30 days, that contract comes up? Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Yep. 5 days.
It's on.
Less than 5 days. Actually, I had it for 30 days, and got down to 5 days. Well, I had a buyer the first 6-7 days. Had a buyer, but the shit flaked out after a few days.
Damn.
And I was down in my last 5 days, and this is actually one of our biggest deals. Down in my last 5 days, and it just comes in to work with networking. Like you have to know.
You have to know people.
Know people. Have your buyers list, and know people that's serious, that with cash, that's ready to pull the trigger immediately. Because you're gonna get a lot of people that just act like they want to buy it, that just wants to see it and wants to get more information about it, but they never pull the trigger. You know what I mean? You want to deal with people that's really buying properties, that's really serious about getting into business.
And that'll work for you.
Right. And you keep those people. I have those people saved in my phone.
Yeah, you make a list of those people. You make a buyer's list, you make a seller's list.
I call them immediately. And I have a guy that doesn't need to, all he needs to hear is the numbers. Once he hears the numbers work, he's ready to close the next day.
Yeah, and you can do an extension, right? So, and I'm glad y'all mentioned that too, because here's the thing too, because what if because your question is really, what if you don't have a buyer or the buyer don't come through? Now what? So technically what happens is within this 30-day contract that we have, you got an inspection clause. And in that contract, it states that for whatever reason that you see that this is going to cost too much during your due diligence periods and the numbers don't make sense, you have a right to cancel out the contract. Okay. That's your out right there. Your inspection clause. So now that your buyer flaked on you, they flaked on you hopefully within the period of your inspection clause. So your reason is these numbers are coming back a little bit too high.
Because of the inspection.
Because of my inspection. What I really need is, can you give me a price reduction? Maybe they say yeah. Maybe they say no, go fuck yourself. I got cussed out over this before on some stuff. No, I'm serious, man, because the old guy was moving out of town and his daughters thought that I waited for him to move out of town and then try to, get the
take
price
advantage
to go down.
of the situation.
And I was like, I was salty about that because you questioning my integrity. I can't do it. So anyway, that taught me something too, to put certain things in the contract and just be honest. And because they may ask you, in your contract, what gives you the right to assign it is this word called assign. So it may say Tillman home buyers and or assign.
Right.
That's what gives him the right and gives me the right to sell the contract to someone else.
Right.
So if they question you on, well, why do you need to have an assignment? I know what this is. You trying to wholesale it to somebody? Well, no, actually, I need the assignment to be there because I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna close it and go in title.
Right.
Meaning, if I keep it as a rental, that's one business for me, and it is.
Right.
If I'm gonna flip it, that's another business for me.
And that,
so
yeah.
I'm not yet quite sure. And in my flipping business, I got partners. So what I need to do right now, I'm thinking, and I'm quite sure I'm gonna go in as a rental for my rental business. But just in case I need to switch it, I need that assignment clause to be there.
Right.
And
Free
a lot-
game.
And
You see
a
what
lot
I'm
of times,
saying?
if you build that relationship with them, they're not gonna.
They ain't gonna trip off that
Right,
anyway.
they ain't gonna trip
Right.
off that.
Right.
Hey, yo.
Like, always remember, if a deal does not go through, it's something that you didn't do.
Right.
It's something that you need to work on. It's something that you said or didn't say that rubbed the seller the wrong way. And it's not that the person did not want to sell. I don't care if they say hell no.
Right.
That just means that you need to target them a different way.
Right.
And
Right.
and create another stream of targeting them and keep that shit constantly going.
Yeah.
And keep that same drive.
So you got to be persistent, man. You just
Right.
got to be able to finesse it a little bit.
Exactly.
Hey, yo. We about to wrap up the motherfucking shit running low anyway. Hey, listen. I want to thank y'all for coming on the motherfucking platform. I want everybody to do their due diligence.
Yes.
I want y'all to do your due diligence and follow this shit, man, and take this shit step by step. This is all a free game, and it doesn't cost no money to get into this real estate shit, man. It doesn't cost no money to make some money, man.
Man, being an entrepreneur, a lot of it has to do with understanding who you are.
Right.
Yeah, no, as I'm saying, I think your mic just faded out. I don't see your line. I don't really hear you through them. Yeah, I don't hear you through the thing.
Yeah, you can't hear me. It went out.
Oh yeah, it's probably.
Oh no. Yeah, there we go. No.
All right, we about to wrap up anyway, man. I want to thank y'all for coming on the platform, Tillman Home Buyers.
Yeah.
For sure. Appreciate you.
I want to tell them where they can find you at.
Yes, sir, man. Derwin Tillman at the Facebook and Derwin.Tillman76 on Instagram. Wholesaling. Get all into it.
My man.
Life changing.
Real life changing shit.
Definitely life changing, man.
And he got the Legacy Clothing brand popping, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Get into that shit.
My man Nobel, Family Wealth Club.
Yeah, man. I'm at thefamilywealthclub.com. Again, thefamilywealthclub.com, man. We got a monthly membership where people kick in. The goal is to bring families together and we start networking and politicking. But I share everything I do. My man get into Bitcoin. He do trading, so he show people that. And I do the real estate portion. I also got a real estate course called Real Estate to Millions. Listen, man, in 18 months, no shit, I buckled down, got off Facebook for me because I was just politicking with people. I left all that alone, got extremely focused. In 18 months, I was able to build $1 million portfolio. Meaning, if I sold everything, there'd be $1 million. And this shit is just amazing. So it's called Real Estate to Millions. Check it out, man. Thefamilywealthclub.com.
Thefamilywealthclub.com. Tillman Home Buyers. This What Else TV. Your boy Stitch 'em Up, my co-host.
It's your boy.
DJ Moolah. We out of here, y'all. Peace.